Once again, we are back, and the last time I got to see you absolute crazy people, we started getting the NFL season on full tilt because everything starts next Thursday night when Detroit goes to Kansas City, and we're hoping it's going to be a good shootout. When 19-7, we probably know Mahomes is probably going to win that game anyway. Last time we did the NFC. This time we're going to do the AFC. Let's go to work. All right, the last time we got a chance to do this, I did the NFC, which probably is going to be a complete mess. So for what I know from all the people that I talk to, every other chance that we get, and I tell you what, a lot of the times I do a lot of sports talk is just when I'm dead at work, when I see people out in the clubs, when I saw people out in bars or whatever, or it's just random people every now and then. You know, good talk will get you somewhere. Whether you're right or wrong, the best thing is great debate. I mean, Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless used to go at each other all the freaking time until Skip decided to take his own talents to the West Coast. He now has a reincarnated Undisputed. And I don't want to say it's a mess, but it's interesting. Stephen A's done all right for himself. Anyway, the best thing about it is there's no right or wrong. You just never know who has a good opinion about certain different things, and that's what I like to hear. Feel free, hit the like, make a good comment about who you think is going to make some impact in the AFC or the NFC. I did one for the NFC last time. I'll do one for the AFC. This one's going to be a little bit tough. Just simply because, as I said before, a majority of the best quarterbacks in the NFL today, they're going to be in the AFC. They're all over the place. The easiest thing is I could just start naming off the top teams of the entire conference. They're probably going, it is a possibility that the same teams that won or got into the playoffs last year will repeat again this year, unless a couple things change. If I know and remember correctly, it was Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, the Chargers, the Jaguars, and I know the Steelers missed. And it can be, it's a whole entire mess of who can try to get into the playoffs. It can be anyone, it can be anybody. It just depends on where they are, because I can start with the AFC East. Can the Buffalo Bills just come back and just try to start being a little bit more run-centric, because they're too Josh Allen reliant? I would love to see the Buffalo Bills win a Super Bowl once in my life. If Pittsburgh doesn't do it, if the Falcons don't do it, just one time, would I like to see Buffalo get in there. They got that, their best shot was that shootout against the Chiefs. Everybody remembers that, and people in fantasy kind of don't know where that one kid who scored 4 touchdowns, don't know where he is now. They're too Josh Allen reliant. Their run game is a little sus. Their D is good. Not great, but good. But Sean McDermott's a defensive coach. Can they compete in that division, which is also a division that nobody really likes each other? Miami is probably the biggest wild card in this entire thing, because this team just got revamped overnight. Great coach. Great coach. They have good running backs. They have a very killer wide receiver core. Defense just got better. They have like I said, their coach is great. It all relies on Tua. Can he stay healthy? If he stays healthy, this team's got a shot to go somewhere for real. I don't even want to talk about the evil empire, the Patriots. You know those guys? Doesn't matter if Brady's not there. They're still the evil empire. I mean, when Brady went to the Bucks, they were the evil empire. They won the Super Bowl first year that he was there in a pandemic. Can you say that? New England is a little bit. They're going to be the slowest offense. They may have picked up Ezekiel Elliott. I don't know if that's going to make a break. They just got Juju. Patriots are going to be a little bit of a very, very wacky situation in the AFC East. And then you follow that up with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. The Jets probably have the most pressure on them. One of the teams that has the most pressure on them. So you bring over Aaron Rodgers. He redoes his contract, so now they get to bring a couple people in to help a young, revamped offense in the Jets, and that defense is actually pretty darn good as well. Plus, they just recently added Delvin Cook. The running game is now actually going to be top 10, maybe even top 8. Cook and Bryce Hall it's going to be interesting. That division may be a 3-way race, and it's going to get interesting. I have a guy who I used to work with back in the old days. He's a Jets fan. He's very interested as well. I'm going to skip the AFC North to last, just because I know in this area that I stay in is in fact a Pittsburgh market. I'll save that for last. Let me jump to the South for a little bit. There really isn't much to talk about. The Jaguars look like they're for real. Doug Peterson's got this team going in the right direction. Trevor Lawrence can actually not only win the division again, he can probably compete to probably win the number 1 seed. It is a possibility. They could steamroll if that offense just goes the way it does. If Etienne plays the running back position well, my former Falcon, Calvin Ridley, will now be on that team, and if he does what he does, the way he did it in Atlanta, after a year suspension, this team's going to be very, very dicey to face. They gave Kansas City a fit in the playoff, and I really don't know what to tell you about the rest of it. Indianapolis is now sus because Jonathan Taylor wants traded, and he's not going to play the first 4 games. I know Anthony Richardson's going to be the starter. He's a prodigy. He's raw, but he's got a lot of talent. He's going to make some heads roll in the league. I just don't know if it's going to be in year 1. Their all black 3rd uniforms are filthy. Not going to lie to you. I would keep your eyes on the Texans because I don't think they're going to do much, even though C.J. Stroud, Ohio State guy, but he's going to be the guy. But the Texans might be better than you think. They've got young pieces and a couple veterans on both sides of the ball. Very good running back. And the Texans do have a favorable schedule. I look at this. Jacksonville's about the middle of the pack. The Titans are also there. That whole division has about a middle of the pack type of strength of schedule. Houston might be one of those that could just win a game, or you just take your eyes off Houston and you don't realize it. And they're gonna come around and beat you, and they're gonna have a good handful of draft picks coming up as well. They might be a better team than you think. Tennessee, everything's gonna revolve around Derrick Henry. Their defense is somewhat okay. Wide receivers are young, they're inexperienced, and everything has to revolve around Ryan Tannehill. Does Will Levis throw his name in? I know he was a Penn State guy, and then he goes to Kentucky, but he likes to flex in front of the bathroom mirror. I get it. He's muscle. He's muscle. He's girls' eye candy, but he's got talent. He's got an arm. He's going to back up Ryan Tannehill, and it's just going to be a thing of, can Tennessee just take that next step? Because not a lot of people in the league are really, really high on Ryan Tannehill, but not a lot of people are really high on Levis either. I'm not going to lie to you. And also, do you agree? Put your comments. Do you like the fact that the one thing I do like about Tennessee, they're bringing the Oilers jerseys back for a couple games. Oilers jerseys, I wish Houston would have them again, but the Tennessee franchise owns the rights to the Oiler name, the logo, and everything since that family moved it to Nashville. Keep your eyes open because I just saw them in person. I didn't see them in person, but I saw them online. They are filthy. They're absolutely dirty. I love them. I wish the Oilers' names would come back. I really would. And they're getting a new stadium in 2 years, so good for the area of Tennessee, Nashville. They're still going to be hanging around for a little while. I don't really want to talk about the AFC West because we all know Kansas City's going to be there at the end. It's just not even. They are the best ran organization right now. They don't need high-profile, high-paid players. Mahomes has redid his contract. They have 6th, 7th rounders at running back and wide receiver. Travis Henry's the best wide-out tight end in the league. It's not even debatable. If Gronk was still in the business, that would be a close 1-1A. But Kansas City has pieces, and they're cheap, and that's just how they run the business. You can spend and put it in your offense and put it in your offensive line and your defense. And if Chris Jones comes back, Kansas City's not going anywhere, people. The only people they really have to worry about are the top teams like the Buffaloes, the Cincinnatis, and even their division rivals, the Chargers, who I will still say this to this day, nobody in LA cares about the Chargers. Nobody. I think they should move back to San Diego, but it's not going to happen because LA is LA. But they are probably one of the most improved teams on paper. But their coach is sus, and he's on the hot seat. Justin Herbert just got his contract. Austin Eckler's pissed off that running backs are not getting paid the way they are. But their wide receivers are pretty dope. Their defense is not actually as bad as you think, but they blew a 27-3 lead to Jacksonville in the wild card. Chargers do things that Chargers do. You just don't know with them. Now we find out. What do you say about the Raiders? They're going to be in a rebuild. Josh Jacobs is going to come back, but they now run the lines with Jimmy Garoppolo. They now have to realize that they are a little bit younger. They have some pieces on the offense. Defense is a little bit sus. It's not as great as you think. Plus, the Raiders have the second hardest schedule in the league. It is not good. Who has the number one? The Patriots. But the Raiders do have to deal with all three of their division rivals, and that includes the Broncos. And the other thing with the Broncos is can Russell Wilson be the quarterback that he was a handful of years ago? We find that out now that he has his new offensive coordinator. He's got Sean Payton as a head coach, and now we realize, can the Broncos come back to title form? And Sean Payton can do that. Only bad thing about that, they just lost 2 receivers to injuries in preseason and training camp. And I think, Jerry Jeudy was one of them, but I think he's coming back, and I think they lost Hamler for the year. It was either him or the other one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're getting injury bugged. We'll see how Denver does. And then I'm going to throw and end this entire clip by talking about the AFC North. That is the biggest punch in the mouth, and I believe it is the best division this year. It is the division that everybody hates each other's guts. Baltimore, Cincy, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh, they all hate each other's guts. They are prime time. They are, even if they're a 1 o'clock game, they're one of the most watched games in the league. Because it doesn't matter if they're 2-12 or 12-2, people will watch these games. I think Cincinnati is probably going to be the team that's going to come out on top because Joe Burrow's not going anywhere, and he's going to get the bag. That wide receiver core is probably as dangerous as Miami's and a couple others. Their defense is definitely better, and I don't think Cincinnati's going anywhere. And it was going to be time. Pittsburgh has ran the AFC North for so long, including Baltimore. Baltimore had their run for so many years, but now that Lamar Jackson's got his contract and he's got his bag and a new offensive coordinator, he's got Odell, he got one of the wide receivers in the draft. What is next for Baltimore? Do they take that next step with this brand new offense? We find out, because Baltimore's not going anywhere. And what do you say about Cleveland? Well, Deshaun Watson, is he over all the BS that happened with him a couple years ago? Is he past that? You're never going to get past that. That's what social media does to people. They're never gonna let you forget any other BS you've ever had. But your offense is not bad. Your wide receivers are not bad. Your running game is actually pretty good. Your offensive line is actually top 5 in the league from PFF. The Browns have a middle type schedule. They're actually not even that bad. The Steelers' schedule is actually pretty easy, somewhat. The Ravens are, I'm trying to look in here. The Ravens are about middle of the pack, and so are the Bengals. That whole entire division, there's people. Nick Wright picked the Steelers to win this division. For some, I don't know why, but it can go anywhere. I would probably just go Cincy, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cleveland, just because I just think they're just going to beat the holy you-know-what out of each other. And it's just going to matter of, this game and this game and that game. And we're going to see if Cincinnati can hold on to the division. But there's a lot of people who like Pittsburgh, not just because they're the Steelers, not because they're Steeler fans. It's simply because can Kenny Pickett take the next step as a full-time quarterback with a decent running back, with 3 good wide receivers in Johnson, in Pickens, and I think Austin is going to be starting this, and I think that Austin kid is starting this year. Freiermuth is a stud at tight end, and no one is ever going to doubt the defense. TJ Watt and those boys, they're going to play. They're not going anywhere. So I don't know what you'd like me to go for, because a lot of people still have thoughts that it's going to be the norm. It's going to be KC, Cincinnati, Buffalo. I think Jacksonville's going to turn some heads. I really don't know, because there is talent all over this conference. Let me know what you think is going to happen in that AFC. I'm not picking Super Bowl winners, because I'm telling you, this can be anything. And with the Super Bowl in Vegas this year, who knows what's going to happen. That is the AFC for you. I'm happy you guys got to hang out with us to do the AFC, NFC, and folks, anytime you're looking for something to just jump at, throw a like there, subscribe, because we're going to do a lot of crazy stuff coming down the road. We want to get a chance to talk with a bunch of people that are going to talk NFL, they're going to talk NHL. Folks, it was a good run. It was good to do this on the fly for you. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Whatever you decide to do it well. And I will see you, Bloody Legends, in the next one. Until then, late.